Well, hello, hello. I wasn't sure if I went live or not. How is everybody doing? Wait a second, am I live? Yes, I am live. Okay, I had some technical difficulties, like the past week has been under the slogan of difficult technical difficulties. But we are live. I'm back, kind of. I don't know if I'm back, but you know, I'm here. But hey, DanaScript, long time since I've been here live. Hey, Matt. Yes, well, for me it also has been quite a long time since. I mean, I've been live here and there, but it was not just the same, you know? It was just different. So, okay. I'm trying to figure out like if the whole setup is working or not. How have you been? Tell me. What's new in your life? What's not? Hey Marcos, how are you? Don't know if you hear the music or anything. Anyway, today I decided that why not get back to coding? I feel like I have some sort of mental capacity. The past 2 weeks have been challenging, but you know, nothing much changes, and eventually as a human you learn to adapt. So that's where I'm at today. Let's see how that that changes throughout the course of the week even, or maybe tomorrow. I pour myself some glass of water before I start talking away. And yeah, I'm streaming on Monday, even though I usually don't, but why not? You know, what are rules? Some people can attack countries, so what am I with my stream on a Monday? Okay. What else? Abraham, thank you, but I also would prefer if you don't send roses or stuff like that. It just creeps me out. Thank you. What did I want to say? Yeah, so I'm streaming on Monday, even though it's like not really a thing for me, but I'm here. I also want to stream on Wednesday. So that's kind of like my plan of the week. I'm trying to plan like bit by bit by bit, because otherwise, you know, you cannot really plan ahead. That's a big glass of water, yes. I mean, it's not that big, it's like the regular glass, but it just, the bottleneck of the bottle is too small, so it was taking ages. You know. Also, that smiley looks creepy. No, I mean, smileys are okay. Sahibok says, I would like to thank you for sharing the valuable contents. I'm new to React and your contents are indeed useful. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate such kind words. And I hope I can continue sharing and showing whatever I have, coding-wise. Yeah. Wait a second. I cannot... Like, my brain is really, really low on capacity, so I hear that my music has stopped and that's where my focus went. So let me fix that. Hi Ahmed, just saw your story and came to say hi. How are you? On my end at least. You mean the creepiness of the smiley? Maybe. I mean, I think YouTube also displays it differently, right? Depending on the OS that you're watching it on. It doesn't look too creepy over here. I mean, it's just smiling. I mean, it has like a weird tongue in the middle, but at least it's inside of their mouth and not outside. I don't know. You know what's creepy? I actually talked about it on my stories. I find it a little bit, not creepy, but like weird, depending on context, of course. But when... Bye, Abraham. But like when people are using the winky smile too much in every sentence, I find it like borderline patronizing in a way. I don't know. It's like, again, depends on the context, right? If you're on Tinder and you're sending winking smiles, go ahead. But like in a working environment, it's like, so sure. How have you been? Checked out Vue yet? Well, so I worked with Vue before, right? But recently I have not. I'm actually thinking of redoing my website. And I was thinking yesterday if I should do it in Vue or in React. And I know I will be doing it with like server-side rendering. Because I need like the routes and I need some sort of SEO, I guess. I don't know. I'm still not sure about that, but I was just like, let's go with that. I didn't build a website for myself with this tech, so why not try it out? So I was thinking if I should do it with Nuxt or with Next, because I know the both of them. And apparently there is another one for Angular. What was the Angular? Nuxt? No. Nest? Something with Angular as well, because like obviously they also have that. But I think I'm gonna go with Next.js just because I know it, you know, and I don't feel like learning something new. Although I did build the Ultimate API Challenge website in Nuxt with Vue, which is also awesome. But I didn't bring myself to work with Vue 3 yet. So that's like the long answer to that question. I'm good, hope you're well. I'm kind of okay. Yeah, I agree. Like they're slightly belittling the wings, especially in work. Yeah, right? Thank you, I'm not the only one. I genuinely agree, too much winking face is just weird, yeah. I have to say this, why are there so many JS frameworks? I mean, I feel like, so in the case of like the Next Nuxt things, it's like they are built on top of a of a JS already existing JS framework, so it's like a framework on top of a framework, which I'm not mad about. I think it's fine, especially since as a beginner, I don't know if you had it as well, but or you still have it, I don't know, depending on like where you're at in your journey. But I had the feeling that like React or Vue or whatever framework we're using, they're like the solution to everything. And then I started finding out that actually single page applications, so like what's essentially React is about and Vue.js is also about, where we're talking just those, right? Without any like server-side rendering, just like the pure frameworks, they're not good business-wise if you're creating your whole business around them. Like, there are so many things that they're lacking. So having Next and Nuxt is a good thing, because then you don't need to create your own like server-side things and routing and all of that. Plus like the dynamic routes and what else? They're serving the content differently, right, on build and on static pages. Anyway, I think it's a good idea to have Next and all those frameworks on top of the existing tiny frameworks. I mean, tiny. Let's call React and Vue tiny, because they just, business-wise, they don't fulfill anybody, okay? I guess if you need to like plug in a widget somewhere here and there, perfect. But as a like, or maybe if you have just a landing page, also fine. But further than that, they lack a lot of functionality, in my humble opinion. So I work with Vue, love it, but I do want to push myself to work more with React in my own time. Well, my friend, then you're in the right place. I guess, I don't know. If you want to code along or chat along, but yeah, I get it. I mean, it makes sense to, like, there is this curiosity, right, to dig into other frameworks and see how they work. I am still waiting for the React beta docs to get even better, to understand all the like use callback, use memo, use, what else do they have? All of those hooks. Like, we're using a lot of the use state, use ref sometimes, use reducer is being used, and use effect. And those are like, and especially mainly, it's most of the time use effect and use state. That's it. To the maximum. But there are so many other ones that we can use and optimize and understand. And also learning those hooks makes you kind of understand a little bit better JavaScript. But maybe we're not there. Oh, brilliant. It's also job availability is so focused on React, so yeah, that's true. But there might be like some shifts, right? In the upcoming time with Svelte. I hear some speculations. I don't know, maybe it's again a new hot shit. Who knows? But yeah, for now, React is really like all over the place in a good way, not like in a bad way. Everybody's using React. So if you learn React, you can really open many doors for you. Aiden says, I don't have much JS experience, so this might be a dumb question, but what framework do you think has the cleanest and fastest effect? Well, it depends. I mean, cleanest, if we're gonna talk like from the perspective of dev, I think it depends like on how you write the code yourself, really, how you organize it, because within, like, you can choose a framework and then have like the architecture of the app in a way that can be super messy or in a way that can be super clean. I have never worked with Angular, never touched it, never, but I heard that it's very, very strict when it comes to structure. So maybe Angular can get a point for being more clean for a developer, but on the other hand, it can also be very restrictive. And again, it really, a lot of it boils down to like personal preferences. For example, in Vue.js, what I did like is that somehow things just made sense there. You know, it's like, it's super developer friendly in my opinion, and the docs are amazing, and in general, the framework is super simple. Like, it's not, if you would just read Vue.js docs and React docs, you're never gonna want to touch React, I think. But Vue.js is just extremely simple. And I mean, they're essentially, both of them are JavaScript frameworks and they do the same. So, but what I was saying, what I did like about Vue as well, is that even though people don't like it, everything was in one file. So you had the template, the HTML part, JavaScript part, and the CSS part all in one file, which kind of like, it helps you to write clean code, because as soon as your file becomes like huge and you need to start scrolling like all day, you understand that, okay, it's time to decouple, it's time to make a smaller component, it's time to go deeper and like go like one by one. And this kind of like things can make you write cleaner code or like more decoupled code. But that could have been just like my opinion, and maybe others are not inspired by that. On the other hand, in React.js, what I like are the React hooks, the custom ones that you can create yourself, which makes it super nice within the React thingy, that you don't need to kind of like, you know, how do you say, pollute your files. So I'm contradicting myself, but those are kind of like the flavors of the frameworks. Flavors of the frameworks, you heard it here first, that I have experienced. And the only thing that I don't like about React, like as a beginner comparing both frameworks, is that React has JSX. So like they have their own templating language that you need to go for it. You know, you need to learn it in order to work with it. And that's a little bit, like as a beginner, you already learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Why do you need to go and learn again JSX? Not so sure. Wait, I have a lot of messages. So, Matt B is answering to Aidan saying, I started with React and just about got my head around it. Then jumped in Vue and it was a walk in the park by comparison. Yeah. That does sound like a good idea. I'll probably start with React and move to something eventually. You could also start with Vue and then move to React, because it's like the reactivity of the whole thing is like the main concept in both of them. So as long as you get the whole flow of like props, then event emitters or event listeners and this kind of things, you're gonna be fine with both frameworks. It has a cleaner structure, lifecycles are clear, methods, template, and they did develop Vue to take the best of Angular and React. Right. Yeah, the lifecycles, I agree, they're much clearer and nicer. And there's like, you don't really need to dig into a lot to understand it. Like, it's just clear. Since I installed your VS Code theme, I have not changed it. Ooh, it is just amazing. And I recently saw a video on making your own VS Code theme, and I have to say big kudos to you. It is really not easy. Oh, well, first of all, thank you. But yeah, it was not easy. I really spent the whole weekend. I used like a web browser extension, not extension, it's like a web page that they, probably like an iframe or something. They mimic in a way, so if you're changing like a variable, they show you where it's changing, the color of it, and how the whole theme looks like. And it's like, boah, it's amazing, but it crashed like 5 times when I was at the end and it didn't save anything, and I was so freaking pissed. But yeah, eventually I made it. What is your VS Code theme? It's called Ice Blue, I think. Right? Let me check. Wait a second. So I will not. Yeah, Ice Blue, crisp as an ice cube. Currently working on a project. Got notified about this. Just wanted to show support. Definitely going to watch the whole project later. Thank you. I'll definitely look deeper into it. Thanks for answering the question. Best of luck. Is this live going to be recorded? Yes, everything is going to be recorded and saved all the time. Yeah, Ice Blue, exactly. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, it's going to be recorded. You're probably answering because I didn't answer. You're probably asking because I didn't answer it. Let me show you my... Well, okay, wait. It's difficult for me to use callback, perhaps because I have not understood it well. Do you use it a lot in your work? Is it widely used in general? No. I'm also a little bit struggling with the use callback. Kind of like, I understand the concept, but I don't understand the root of the concept. And it's hard for me to implement something on that level that I don't get completely. So that's why I'm waiting for React to have like better explanations of that. Because I tried like, you know, you do like a simple search on Google or wherever you're searching for some explanation about hooks. And of course, like you get tons of articles, but most of the articles are about what? Use effect and use state. And then, so they're like, they go elaboratively about those hooks, but then once you reach, so they go like 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 is like this hook, this hook, this hook. And they just repeat what is said in the documentation, which is already not helpful. So it's a mess, you know, like you want to get a little bit more information, but you can't. There is no information. Like where do you get it from? We actually had a discussion about it at work. Some senior engineers also raised the kind of like the question like, hey, what about this thing? Because we use React at work, and people were like, so what about use callback, use memo, use... I feel like there is a third one that I'm forgetting. One of those like sophisticated ones. And people were like, yeah, we're confused also. So I think at this point, it's an industry standard to be confused about those hooks. Or maybe the people who get it, they still didn't get to write their articles or to explain it or pass down their knowledge. I would hope that it makes sense to the React people and that they're just like taking their time to explain the things. I'm sure they have sense in that, because otherwise they would not be building it. But yeah, I'm waiting for the day to understand that too. Because, you know, also when you have like ESLint in your project, it starts like adding you like some warnings about improvements that you can make in your code, especially about hooks. And then you kind of like start implementing those changes and you're still not getting it. You're still not getting it. And then it even has like a worse effect on your code and on your page and everything. And you're just like, so I'm kind of supposed to do that, but I'm not really understanding why. And I think that's a crappy way to use something, right? Like we should understand why we're using it. What's the benefit? Like we as developers need to make the decision of, hey, we go in that direction because, or hey, we're not going in that direction because. Of course, not in every page, not in every function, but probably in the one that is like your core functionality, this should be more of a conscious decision, I want to say. But I guess you know what I mean. So, I want to say, let me show you, but then it's going to pop another question in the chat, which I like. But I guess you're also here to code a little bit. Or not. I don't know. We can also talk. I know that talking a lot is also nice, because then we can get to these conversations, which, you know, are always nice. Okay. No chat questions. Cool. So let me show you my Visual Studio Code theme. Boom. So, welcome to my theme. That's actually our project, but let me show you. Wait. So ignore this part. Ignore this part of the page. It doesn't matter. So it's called Ice Blue because it's as crisp as an ice cube. Where is it? Here it is. If you're gonna search for it, it's Ice Blue, JavaScript, crisp as an ice cube. And here's like a little preview of what the colors look like. I tried to make it work for React. I think the editor where I created it had Vue.js. So it also looked nice, because you know what I hate, especially about like some themes, is that they the template, when you use a template and the attributes and everything, they all look the same. So it's kind of like hard to differentiate between what's a tag, what's an attribute, what's a value of the attribute, and it really makes me not want to look at code. So I try to create something that, you know, would help you and help me be more intuitive about, or no, probably helping being more intuitive is not the right sentence that I want to say, but basically something that while you're typing, you will understand if you're going in the right direction, you know? So for example, like if you want to do, like I have here on line 43, I have here courses.find. So .find is a method. If that will be .find, I don't think it's gonna be recognized as a method, and you know, the color is gonna be different, and that's gonna be like, oop, you know, basically everything works like that. But I try to be more conscious with the colors. That's my speech about my theme. I just downloaded it and it does look great. As crisp as an ice cube. Yay, thank you. Looks pretty neat, well done. Woohoo, thank you. Whoa, it's already got 74 downloads. Cool. What else did I do in this theme? There was something else. Oh, this screenshot, it's actually from a project called learnbyear.io, which I'm trying to now redesign to something a little bit more simple, because I have the feeling that it's a little bit hard for people to stay on the page when the page is when the page has a neumorphism design. Like, it's fun and cool to develop it, but then I guess for the user it might be annoying. So just so you know that this is not work code, okay? So, do we wanna code today? I think we do. So let's check what we did before. So our cute welly app. Whoa, this is so contrasting. Try not to look at it. So we have welly, we have our little navbar, we have our see more, which is going to our about page. Awesome about page. Welly incorporated at Welly Street 7-Eleven. Okay, somebody had fun. Then we fetch some top products, and if you're new here, we're actually using a makeup API, an external API. We didn't build it, but it is there. It's in the description box right here below. You can find all the links you need. And if you're also new here and you want to code from the very beginning of this project, there's a playlist, and this is the 10th part of this playlist. So we're fetching our free products apparently, because they don't have a price. Maybe we could even remove the price, but an e-commerce always has a price, so keep it for now. But yeah, some top products. Then we have a banner that I created with this. Where did I take those from? I took it like from some free stock images, and then I just like combined them together and put them here. They're kind of like the same ones. Okay, then we have another sort of tiny banner for something, or more like a information section. And then we have like this is like a absolute positioned according to this kind of things. So works. And then we have some Lorem Ipsum for unique selling point, USPs. And of course the footer. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also here, like if you hover on those things, then they become yellow. Page is of course responsive, so this is a tablet view, still looks fine. And this is a mobile view. Also look pretty fine if you ask me. And why this music cannot play for longer? What is... What type of music do we want to listen to? Come on, tell me. I have a paid subscription to music for streaming, so we can listen to any type of music you want. Given I want to listen to it, of course. What is Lorem Ipsum? I see it in every web template. Lorem Ipsum is basically a thing, it's like a placeholder text. So if we Lorem Ipsum, if you go here, you can have like a generator. So instead of when you're building a website and you know that there's gonna be like a lot of information there, but you don't wanna like, you know, just like bang your keyboard, then you can actually have like a placeholder generated for you, you know, to kind of like see how your paragraphs are gonna work, how they're not. You know, something that is more natural in terms of words, commas, exclamation marks, exclamation point, yeah, something like that. Let's see. So wait a second, I see some music suggestions. I'm gonna skip through those first. Okay, lo-fi. Do you say lo-fi or lo-fi? Let me see. Lofi Girl, I don't think I can do Lofi Girl. This is too cheerful. I'm not in the mood for that. Okay. And again, it has just like 10 songs or something. Anyway, maybe I need to create my own how do you call it? Playlist. You need to create everything yourself, you know? I say lo-fi. Yeah, okay. Makes sense, right? Okay, thank you. Cool. There are also several funny Lorem Ipsum generators. A sec. So I know that there is something like about cheese, I think. Why is this in German? Like, I didn't... Yes, I'm in Germany, but... Don't Deutsch at me. You see, so for example, npm is a node, zepto is a JavaScript. Or legal as an express condition, blah, blah, blah. Food one, veggies as bonus hobbies. There's a lot of fun ones if you want to have some fun. Jordan saying, hey Donna, hey. Not sure if you remember me, but I tuned in a few times when you started the Makeup API site. Awesome to see you're still going and the website looks really great. Thank you, Jordan. It has been a long while since I did like the Makeup API for, you know, like intentionally, and yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna try and be like, you know, more present here. Let's see how it goes. But we gotta finish this project, you know. We started it and we're not gonna be those people who don't finish their project. It happens. It happens to everybody. But this one we're gonna finish. Because I'm not gonna contribute to the pool of projects that are unfinished, especially when I stream them live. Do you prefer Windows, Mac, or Linux? So I actually tried all of them, and I guess Mac is so far the one that I like the most. Like I'm not like a super nerd when it comes to terminal things and everything. I don't need that. So I don't need Linux. Yes. Also everything, I like things to be nice, you know. I like to open my laptop and see niceness, not brutalness. So I guess that's also very also subjective, but I prefer Mac. I used to be a Windows girl because of, you know, money. I got my first Mac only once I got my dev job. And also that was like my work computer. And the very, very, very first Mac that I bought with my money, it's actually the Mac that I have right now, which is the MacBook Pro 16-inch. And that was a couple of years ago because I got like a very massive freelancing gig and I needed some machine and I didn't want to do it on the work computer. So right now in this house, me and my partner, we have 5 MacBooks. Because like I as soon as you get like into the dev world, it's insane how many Mac devices you get. Insane. You don't need that many, but you know, that's what it is. I suck at finishing side projects, lol. ADHD for sure. Hello from BCN. Is BCN Barcelona? BCN? 5 MacBooks is crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. But it's like each of us has one for work and then one personal. And then we also have like one old one. So, which we're trying to sell, but it's not selling. So it's kind of like whatever. It's just gonna be there. Mac is good. I'm a total Linux terminal nerd though, lol. Yeah, you see? It's like, I feel that... Oh, so I actually did work on Linux. I'm gonna sound very stupid now, but Linux and Ubuntu is the same, right? I don't remember. So Ubuntu is like an operation system on Linux. No, Linux is an operation system. Anyway, I was using Ubuntu. And yes, okay. So I was using Ubuntu when I was learning how to code in my bootcamp because they give you a laptop and they had Ubuntu on it. Which was also quite nice, honestly. Like, still way better than Windows, in my opinion. And yeah, I didn't even understand how bad Windows is, like in terms of like user experience and just like all these endless updates and everything, but they're cheap, you know, so that's what you get, and you get a lot of programs. So if you're like a student or something, or if you don't really use heavily computers, then Windows is absolutely fine for you, right? Not everybody need to go after a Mac just for the sake of going after a Mac. Like we were laughing that there's like those hipsters in Berlin that all they do is just like, I don't know, take their MacBook for a coffee, you know, like they just sit like in a coffee shop reading a website. So a bit judgmental, but it's a little bit of fun. So how many computers do you own in total? I think 7, because we also, each of us has a Windows machine. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like once you get your first computer and everything, or laptop especially, well, like do you sell them after you don't need them? I don't know. Feels weird to sell them. Like, what if you need them? What if you're gonna need them? I don't know. Yes, they are. Ubuntu is Debian based, which is Linux. Okay. Ubuntu is built off of Linux kernel. There you go. So is it like Windows and Windows XP? or Windows 97 or Windows Vista. That's the things, right? So it's like Windows underlying, but then it's like the little versions. I still have my 2013 MacBook Pro. Yeah. And I think that's also another part. I don't know about Linux, I assume as well. Windows computers, they don't last that long. Like, no matter what you're gonna do with them, they're not gonna last that long. I think Linux does last long, and Macs, they last especially long. So surely it's an investment, but you're also kind of like saving yourself. You're not saving yourself anything, but it's just like you're gonna be using this machine throughout the years, so it's kind of, maybe it's even cheaper in the long run, I don't know. And it works just like it did when I bought it, except the battery life is probably 5 to 5 seconds. Yeah, so batteries, they are sucky, I get it, yeah. So the MacBook, not the MacBook, yeah, the MacBook Air that we have, the one that we were trying to sell, I think this one has like a, I don't know, 3-4 hours of coding time on battery, which is still nice, it's still fine. It was from 2017. So like a 5-year MacBook, and still has like 3-4 hours. The MacBook Air, right? I think that's pretty good. If I would not have all those Macs, I'd probably still be using that one. I would probably not be streaming from that one though, because that would be a mission not possible. What do you think of the 14-inch? I'm eyeing it up. Yeah, so my partner actually has the 14-inch for work, and he says that it's the best. Also, my neighbor said she's also working as a developer, and she also has the 14-inch, and she's like, awesome. And I also actually wanted to ask from work the 14-inch, but they say that developers usually go for the bigger MacBooks because they have bigger capacities and like specs. I don't know. I think like next cycle when we're gonna be updating the hardware, probably gonna go for the 14 as well. Look, at home I'm using like, I have monitors. My laptop is closed and it's like there. You see my arm? It's there. So it's really just like the core of it that I'm using. I'm not even using the whole thing of it. And if you want to travel and, I don't know, move around with it and everything, then I think the 14-inch makes much more sense. And especially now with all these like new chips, like probably the 14-inch is of the same capacity as my MacBook 16 Pro at this point. Oh, I got my brother a 14-inch and he's super happy with that as well. So I think 14-inch is a good one. I didn't follow about the Apple keynote that they had recently, so I'm not sure what's like the new stuff. But as long as it's a MacBook Pro, I think it's pretty much capable of doing everything that the 16 does. Okay, shall we check? Right, so I didn't finish showing you stuff. So we built, I don't know if you want to see, but when you click on one item, it's loading. We need to fix that thing. Maybe we can fix it now. It's loading, it shows the product, and then it shows like a little bit of information about it, the category it's in. I forgot what this is, probably a type, could be. And then some description. Again, our USPs, so it's the same component that we have on the homepage, which is like the benefits of components. You can just like drop them where you want without having like a repetition in your code. And then we have some suggestions that we also kind of like winged. And if we click on here, then we have that. That's a little bit weird. Maybe we should solve that. So you see, once I'm here on this page and then I click on one of those, you know what? Let me do one thing. Let me go to the network and I'm gonna put like a slow 3G connection. So that's gonna mimic if the user is on a slow internet connection, and that will allow us to go a little bit slower and see what's happening. So we loaded this page with this product, and then we're clicking on this one. And you saw what happened. We still saw the previous one, and then this thing loaded. So the URL is changing when we click on that. We have also, you see here at the bottom, I have localhost 3000/product/1046. So there is a URL change, but the component is still the same. When actually, like, what is going on through my mind right now is that in Vue.js, I know how to fix it. And I haven't worked with Vue.js like intensely for almost 3 years now. That's insane. That's how good Vue.js is. That it's so like straightforward, I guess. Whew, almost flipped over my water. So let's go to pages. We have the product page. And here you can see in more detail my code. Oh, the chat is too big. I will need to make you smaller. I hope this is okay. Let me know if you see the font well. So we have here split to smaller components. Why do we have this? 4 months ago. Improve single page and benefits section. Hey Abdul, what's up? Okay, so what I assume is happening is that we're clicking, wait, so we have the product, wait. We have the product preview benefits here. We are clicking on the recommended products. Handle loading state, okay. Maybe we're gonna go through our to-dos today to kind of like fix them up. Okay, and then I have a product card. Right, and the product card is a link that is leading us to /product/ID. So that's correct, because whenever I hover here, I see the link in the bottom of the page, /product/1047, which is the ID of this bottle lip color pop. So this one is 1046, this one is 1044, 1037. Yeah. Now let me bring back my network, no throttling. Okay. So we click on that one and it redirects us to, it doesn't redirect us, it just like scrolls to the top because we're doing use layout effect. I'm pretty sure that this was recommended by ESLint because I cannot remember. Use layout effect. I don't think I have used that enough to remember what it does. So what is use layout effect? So it is identical to use effect. Very good. But it fires synchronously after all DOM mutations. Use this to read layout from the DOM and synchronously re-render. Updates scheduled inside use layout effect will be flushed synchronously before the browser has a chance to paint. So at what point does our... So wait a second, so I click on it. And then we scroll up because there was like a use layout effect change or something. And then how does it fetch me a single product? Let's go to use get product. Oh, okay, so this one reads the params. I see. Look at that, we used use callback here. But it's kind of like, okay. Get single product. So when the ID changes, should we use here the use layout effect? Wait a second, is that gonna make, is that what they mean? Nope. Okay. So, what if I put this... Okay, let me... So what I want to do is I want to put those things in the same kind of use layout effect hook. So I'm gonna put this here, and because I want them, because it says that it's doing things synchronously, which means, as far as I understand, is that first it's gonna do this, the get single product, and then synchronously it's gonna scroll to the top once we have it, or once it's fired. I'm not sure, but I want to check it out. And for the location.path name, so let's comment this and then let's copy this, put it here. Yes, 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 I know. So no. That's an interesting music choice. I want something without words. Oh, wait. Oh, it's too positive. Exactly. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. So, how can we fix this thing? Maybe... Maybe I can move this one here. But I don't think that's gonna change anything, right? Oh, that doesn't matter. Yeah, take it out of here, that's fine. Because, wait a second, if I click on this, well, let me put back the network, the throttling, slow, right, maybe let's go to another product that we still didn't have. We need to add a loading thing here. Okay, I was thinking that maybe it's just the image that is taking time to load, but I think it's also this thing. That one also took a moment to change. Hey, long time no see in a direct. Hope you're doing better since I follow on Insta too. Hey, I'm not doing better. I'm just trying to, you know, to do stuff. But thank you for asking. And how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Yeah, it takes a while to do those things. So let's dig into that a little bit. What is happening? So on an ID, we start going for get single product. No. I mean, those things are asynchronous, so they should make sense. Maybe what is missing is a loading state here. Let's try. And this one comes from here. Yeah, that's what was it about. Like, he's loading and boom, cool. Even though I'm still doing my work hours, I just have your live in background as a moral support. Oh, thanks, Bogdan. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like there are those study with me streams. I'm like, let's figure out React together streams, or just moral support. You know, especially now when you don't have your colleagues next to you, or at least I don't. I guess it's like we resort to these kind of things, right? I need to refill my water. Another big glass of water incoming. Be prepared for the noise. So now what we need to do is we need to make a nice loader. Mike's saying, doing the same. I'm currently working on a 3D game and C++ is killing my brain. That's cool though. Are you allowed to say which 3D game you're building? Cool that you're working on a game, not cool that it's, killing your brain. But I guess you understood that. I'm working with binary and conversions. Ooh. Y'all, what you're doing is so advanced. Like, Zishan, hey, can you do small tutorials on ReactJS core? What do you mean core? What would be ReactJS core? Do we actually have already a loader? No. Let's create a loader. It's for my master's degree thesis. I'm building an RPG action game. Like an old game called Parasite Eve that uses active time for battles in confined spaces like old RPGs. Pretty cool. Good luck with your master's degree thesis. Yeah, super cool. Core principles of ReactJS. Yeah, I was thinking of creating something like that. Yeah, maybe I will. Just don't know when, honestly. I'm trying to I will. I just cannot promise when. Hey Joe, what's up? Matt's saying I'm working with C#.net now too. A lot of C's. No language I understand. I'm JavaScript all the way. And still, so much to explore, I know why I thought we have a loader, because of this. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to create a loader. But first, let me put my purifier on warming up the house because it's cold. You might hear it a little bit, or maybe not. Thanks. Hopefully someday I'll retake the web development too. I started with React, but I really need to have a minimum of out of the screen life. I can understand that. That's why I'm also kind of like struggling sometimes to like, I don't know, do streaming or coding tutorials or something, because I work 8 hours. I'm trying like to also do like at least the basics of, you know, cooking for myself, exercising and doing things, and just takes almost up like your whole day. And that's just like basic survival maintenance mode, apart from doing something like meeting people, I don't know, spending time with people that you like, also not staring at screens. So yeah. By the way, speaking of life outside of screens, though that's about a big screen, I might go and see a movie on Thursday. Batman. I don't know why that went in the wrong direction. Was that a sign not to go and watch Batman? Exactly, I'm the same, and I miss my hobbies a lot, like writing sci-fi, but it's really hard to balance life. Yeah, right? I mean, especially during a master's degree thesis. I also did my master's degree. Well, bachelor's and master's. Master's was hard on its own, but during like when you're a student, now that I'm thinking about it, I did party a lot. But there's also so much to learn that there's just like, you know, I wish I could take you to movies. Now, Salim, that's creepy. Don't say stuff like that. Like, we don't do that here. Do Redux tutorial. Redux, please. I'm not gonna do Redux because I never worked with it really. So I don't think I can give you any more information than what the internet already has about Redux. You inspire me to try React again. Oh, thank you. Basically, the two cats are very happy about you streaming. Yay! Hello! Say big hi to them. Such beautiful cats. That's like the only cat that my partner would consider, because he said like, oh, it looks like a little tiger. Like we saw like a similar cat to yours like some years ago, and he was like, oh, that's a beautiful cat. And I was like, mm-hmm. I mean, any cat is beautiful, but those ones are really special. Do you use context? Yeah, I do. A lot. That's why I guess I'm not using Redux, because I do use context. Use context. Do you like Batman? I haven't seen it. I haven't either. I might go on Thursday. So I'm planning to volunteer the whole day on Thursday. Well, actually the whole night. And then a little bit of the day. And then come home, sleep. And then maybe go for a movie in the evening. So let's see. That's the plan, but I don't know yet how it's gonna go. You know, like, life is very fluid right now. We just like do as we go. Which state management tool do you use? It's just like really just the native React stuff. Use context together with use reducer sometimes. And just in general, just the use state, you know? Nothing over the top. Oh, I love cats, but I'm allergic. I'd love to have one. Oh, are you allergic like to the long-haired cats? Is it that's how they call it? Because I know that there are some cats who have like a shorter fur, and some people are not allergic to that. But yeah, that's a bummer. We used to have a family cat, and my brother is super allergic to cats, but he loved her so much that like he was suffering all the time with her, but it's just like the love was too strong. What is use context for? Use context is basically, you know how in React you have like the cycle of sending props down and emitting events up if you want to change those props. Then with use context, not only for that. Basically with use context, you don't need to pass through tons of layers the props. You can just get the information from the state in the component that you're in, and also kind of like emit events for like changing those things, which was my point before that. Are you a freelancer? Not anymore really. I just did like one big freelance gig, and I decided it's not for me. At least back then. I don't know, maybe things change, but I like the freedom of it, in terms of like nobody cares where you're at when you do the job, as long as you make it, like, get it done. But it was not a pleasant experience. No, sadly I'm allergic to all that have fur in it. Oh no. Well, I hope you maybe can at least enjoy pictures of cats. Now I'll bring back the music. See, this music finished like super quick. Or am I streaming for too long? No, I'm not streaming for too long. Barely. Have I been here an hour already? Yeah, an hour. It's not an excuse enough for the music to stop playing. Okay. Which is better, context or Redux? They're different. Like, you cannot really say that one of them is better. I know that Redux is for very, very, very big scale applications. Like, it has benefits there, and context can bring you really far without using Redux. I don't know. I'm just like avoiding Redux as long as I can. For no like apparent reason, but you know. Which playlist do you listen when coding? It actually changes. I don't have like a certain playlist. Like, I know that if I really need to dig into coding, I used to put Rudimental, because they really get into this, like, you know, late night coding, pump it up kind of mode. Sometimes it's lofi. Sometimes it's nothing, really. Sometimes it's like a TV show or something. Do you think coding all day is productive for a programming beginner? Depends what's the quality of your coding. I don't think it's about... If you're just gonna code all day, but you're not gonna understand what you're coding, it's not gonna give you more benefit than coding a little bit, understanding what you did, and then leaving it at it, you know, and then just like coming back tomorrow. I don't think like the measure of coding all day is the thing, you know. You need to know your limits, you need to know how you're learning. There's just a lot to take into consideration. I spent 2 years as a freelancer and almost went crazy working alone for so long. Really. But you're supposed to like Were you talking to your clients at least a lot, often, or not that much? 80s Japanese city pop is the best music for coding. Oh, that's a cool one. I actually cannot listen anymore to any Japanese music because I really want to travel there again. Actually, the last time I traveled was when I was doing the freelance, and I was like so excited that I can code, work, and be in freaking Japan. And just the fact that I'm able to afford it. But yeah, I cannot listen to Japanese style music anymore until I get there. It's hard, but I like it better since I can organize my time as I see better for me. Yeah. That's like a point on freelance for sure. But I also think that like if you find the right company, you can still do that within the company. Not in corporate probably. I've been in a smaller scale company for sure. But then again, depends. What do you mean organizing time? Maybe like you also have like time off between projects and stuff. And it's probably more tricky to do that when full-time employed. R&B Korean playlist is also a good one. Which technologies to learn in 2022 and the future? Look, how do I say it? So I think there is no one technology to learn or several technologies to learn for the future, just for the fact of them being popular in the future. Things come and go. Basically anything that, that is sort of popular in tech. Let's say don't learn like a very old, outdated language. Learn something that is quite popular or is used a lot, or if you don't know what it is, then as an idea, if your goal is to get employed, then just search for some tech jobs in your area or where you want to work and see what they require. And then check this tech, check what it requires in order for you to learn it and if that's feasible for you. Because otherwise, I don't know, you can't really... Don't chase technology that much, because I know there's like a lot of talk like, oh, AI, machine learning, this and this and this and that. Sorry. But if it's too much for you, and I know it's too much for me, for example, because it involves a lot of math, and I would not be there if I would be still learning that. I would not be in the place where I am right now if I would still be learning that. That's what I meant. So whatever you choose, whichever language you choose, given that it's in demand, you're gonna find a job. And you need to find which one you prefer, because you could learn something just because it's fancy and it's a hit right now. But if you don't like it, and if it makes you miserable to work with it, and then in 5 years the technology changes and basically you're left with nothing, not really, but you see where I'm going. So I think for technologies, it's more the goal that you have in your roadmap. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Maybe I always had problems with authority and having a boss never worked for me. Okay. But then like with clients, it's also sometimes depends which ones you get, because some of them can get really bossy sometimes. In my company where I'm working, I can organize my time and I don't have to deal with shit clients. It's a win-win. Yeah. I think that's a really good win-win. There you go. I learned to mute the mic before I cough. You can learn Pascal, COBOL, or C. I just saw that Linux Torvald is updating Linux kernel from C89 to finally at least to the 2011 one. See, that, I don't know what you said there. But I guess, okay. That sounds awesome. If I could get a job like that, I'd take right away, probably. Yeah, but I think like you could ask that during your interviews and during everything, and you can like really establish what you want in advance in order to understand what's the company's culture. You know, some companies say like, hey, you have to be at work, you have to be visible. And if that doesn't work for you, then you already know that it's a choosy. Yeah, to a certain degree, but you can choose with which clients to work with when you freelance. Yeah, that's true. But to me, really, living in Germany, and being on a visa and all, like I never saw freelancing as a full-time thing for me. It was always kind of like something extra on the side, because I need the security and the guarantee of a paycheck. I cannot afford to not have it. So yeah. There's like a lot of things around freelance that are really tough, and it's really like there is no glorifying one way or another. It's really finding what works for you, what works within your position, within your country, within the benefits that you can get here and there, and probably like your goal, and so many other things than just like this or that, right? Anyway, it takes time, but they exist. The truth is out there. Yeah, they exist for sure, for sure. It just really takes time. And also like it takes to understand if you want to be searching for them. Do you prefer JavaScript and Bootstrap or JavaScript and CSS? I prefer JavaScript and Tailwind. By the way, I live in South America, so freelancing for another country, especially US or European country, gets you a much better payment. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I would probably do the same. But like, living in Germany, I have so many benefits of being an employed worker that I don't see myself going fully freelance yet. And also like so basically if you're freelancing, as far as I don't know much about this freelance world, but from what I know, if you're freelancing within Germany and you want to get the big buck, then it's most likely freelancing for bigger companies, which at the end doesn't give you much of a benefit of like the freelance that we think, you know. Like, yeah, you get a lot of money, but you're still working for that company, you know. So if the incentive is not to have a boss and not to work for them, still through freelance, you're gonna go to them. Unless I still don't, probably like if you find yourself a good client in the US, then that can be also good. because US pays way more than Europe. It's not always like that. Sometimes you can choose and you end up working with crappy people. Yeah, or people who seem nice and then turned up being crappy. Speaking from personal experience, what? Completely agree. Sometimes you get stuck with jerks. Yeah. This is the first live of yours. I'm in it and I'm enjoying it so far. Thank you, Salim. Happy to have you here. I usually do a little bit more coding than today. I don't know. Actually, I don't have much desire to code. Wait a second. What is this? When I hear somebody like the lyrics, it puts me off because I have it in my ear and I almost feel like somebody's talking to me. Which is not true, because I'm the only one talking here. Okay, let's try this one. It's 15 minutes long. No, it's not. Wait. What? To give an example, they wanted to pay me $400 for a full web shop, and I was like, what? I mean, you could send them a link where they can do that and save their own money, but then spend time. Hey Vivek, I'm here. How are you? And freelancing outside of the country, I take that kind of jobs for at least $1,500. Yeah. And I guess like once you have, you know, your kind of like boilerplate of stuff that you're doing, then it gets less and less time consuming and you get more and more for the value. Not for the value. But kind of like if you still keep the price the same, but your input is more repetitive, then you get more in return at the end. What do I want to search for? Let's go to code 10. Okay, I'm not logged in. There we go. Exactly, since I have optimized already a lot of my code and can repeat most of the structure, it's a lot easier. But that took time, so I get paid for the time I invested. Exactly, yeah. It's kind of like why senior developers get more money. It's because they have, like, you're taking a person with so much already knowledge that is gonna presumably save things not save things, make things faster or more secure, or make you avoid some mistakes that somebody with less experience would make or would overlook. So pay for the knowledge at this point. My head is going blank. What do I want here? Let's take this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I wanted to create a new folder. Oops. Where's my new folder? There we go. Have the loader, and then I also want to have thinking, do I want to have like a whole loader page? No. I'm just gonna solve it with CSS. So for now I'm gonna do index.js, abc, loader. Waiting for your next theme in VS Code. I don't think I want to touch VS Code themes for quite a long time. Unless you have some improvements for this theme, but otherwise, maybe if I get bored with that. But yeah, don't think so. Not anytime soon. So. Okay, I already saved it. What do I want to do? I want to import it here. Loader. Namespace tags are not supported by default. Okay. Probably don't even need this, right? So, do I need now CSS? Okay, so the SVG is width and height. But if I give it here like 10 and 10, this should be doing the trick. By the way, question of completely different topic that's a recurrent discussion. Do you think that full stack developers really exist? I say this because there is so much to learn that have someone that can do 3 for a person's job seems unreal to me. Right. So I think it depends on the extent of the full stackness. So like, if you need to create an app that, let's say, has some database connections, has some authorization maybe of some sort that you want to do on your backend with some little backend services. What else? You know, like this kind of like minor things that you could have, for example, in a small scale, small to mid, very more towards small application. Let's say even MVPs or something like that. And you also need the front end. Then I think to this extent, full stack can exist for sure. But I would agree that if you are going in a very big scale application and you need like people who are experts in, I don't know, servers, you know, server maintenance is something else. You know what I mean? You know, like people who are really into like schemas, data, databases. What else do we have on the back end? Authorizations and more. Or you also need people who are fully like front-end experts, you know, with everything that is going on there. Can a front-end person learn a little bit of back-end and then be considered as a full stack for like an MVP project? Yeah, why not? You can still do those things. Can a backend developer maybe be considered for a full stack position when they need to just like scrap some really basic skeleton of an app, of like a web page or something, and then considered full stack? Also, yeah. But if you want to have like a proper application of I don't know, digging into the nitty-gritty of both areas, unless you have 20 years of experience, and even then, it's probably, I think it's just a lot for one person to do. Like, it feels that sometimes companies think that they would save money on employing a full stack person, but in reality, you're just slowing yourself down, you know, because like, of course, you're after profits and everything, and there's just this much that one person can do. So, especially on both fronts, because it's really different things. And yeah, probably I would agree that you cannot be expert of both. You can be like an in-between in both. Like you can have enough knowledge to do this and do that. But being like a full expert, probably not. So I think it depends on the expectation of what's the project and what people expect from a full stack developer. That's kind of like my take on it. I'm trying like to think about conversations that I had with some people about it. But I can't recall any. Oh yeah. I also agree that it's a little bit ridiculous when like job advertisings, they require a developer, and in the job description it's like a DevOps, front end, back end, IT admin, and all of that in one position. It's basically like a guru. That doesn't really exist, no, I agree. It's crazy, the requirements, yeah, aren't they? Like, I'm even thinking like to have like sorry for all the like words. I'm even thinking to have a stream where we can go through some job advertisings and to just like explain people that this is not normal, because also like beginners who are just starting can get really, really frightened with all those things, and in reality it's just kind of like a red flag that you should, and like a signal that you should divert from that job straight away. Mr. Brown is asking, you're stronger on the front end. It doesn't seem so, right? But yeah, for the past 3 years I've been doing only front end. And I can't say I miss backend too much. Like, so that's the thing, like, am I able to create an express service server and just like do some backend things and everything? Sure. But is it considered a backend developer? No. And I wouldn't take a job for a backend developer. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope. Give me my spinners. Okay, instead of me actually refreshing the page all the time, how about I'm just gonna do this? Okay, so there's supposed to be a loader here. Ten. What? Oh wait, but this is white, right? Isn't it? I'm so bad with these things. What does it want? Do I need a naval background? Do I have any variables here? I don't. Well, you know what? We're using hero icons. They have a loader. Why is it so hard today? Loader, SVG in React. Loader icon. React. Is taking free code camp lessons a good thing to start with as a beginner? Yes. Absolutely yes. I think free code camp is a really good resource, and they have like a good pace and explanations and like really takes you like step by step, so definitely go for it. I don't want a library, I want a simple That's actually also cool. Loader icon SID or GSX. Why is it so hard for me? It shouldn't be that hard. I used these ones before. Do I need to do it like this? Is that what it wants? No. What does this mean? In React. In React. Okay. Wow, look at this. This is so cool. You have already the answer here on the side. That's nice. I hope your family is safe and hopefully you can have a contact with them in the next few days. Thank you, Salim. I really hope so too. Wait a second. He doesn't like it. There you go. Maybe that was also the issue last time and I screwed it up. But oh well. Do you have tried out other frameworks apart from React? What's your favorite? I'm kind of like, I like React with hooks, but I also pretty much like Vue because I used it in the past and I think it's awesome. I did a lesson on Vue.js today, only basic stuff, and when I researched half an hour before, I was shocked on how much changed since the last time I worked with Vue. Oh, really? Tell me, what was the biggest change that shocked you? I also, last time I used Vue, like pure Vue, was Vue 2 and it was 3 years ago. So I haven't used Vue 3. So I really know nothing. So tell me, how cool was that? Or maybe not. Was it like a good shock or not? I just started a project in Vue 3 and I'm like, okay, a lot has changed, huh? Is taking frequent lessons a good thing to start with as a beginner? Yeah, Salim, I answered that a little bit. You asked it already a little bit higher. Yes, totally. Go for it. Absolutely good resource to start with. And they also offer you kind of like a career path. So like if you just need like to follow whatever they tell you. They're pretty good in that. thinking how I want it to look like. I actually don't mind if the only like spinner is gonna be on this side. Why suddenly it has more stuff here? Okay, because the image is bigger. Okay, let's just take like an average how big this thing is. So this is 168 in height. Oh, there it is. 350. We can work with 350. So this needs to be in a div. Class name and height something. Let's do height 10. Okay, I'll check that in a second. What is chat saying? I think its main change is how you can initiate functions. It's more free rather than having to scope them correctly, computed prop or method, etc. This is just my first glance though. Instantiate methods, functions is slightly different. Okay. Interesting. Is it because of the... it's not Context API, is it? For Vue.js as well. They also introduced like a new Compose API, was it? Composition API? You know what I mean, right? It's like I heard one thing about this Vue 3 and it's this API, and since then I'm talking about it. And that's as if I know anything about it. I don't. Tailwind CSS. I don't know why I'm getting so tired. You know what I did today? Because I'm like trying to not think about stuff and everything. I worked out twice today. Freaking twice. Maybe that's why I'm exhausted. I actually had a long day at work. With like a little bit of a brainer to figure why things don't work. Which I love. I love figuring out why things don't work in the code environment, not in like big corporate environment. This I don't like because it's never understood. It's always complicated. It's a composite API, right? It's getting cold here. So what if I do... if I do a height 96, right? Height 10 probably didn't show me anything because that's also the height of the spinner. Also. Yeah, there we go. So I would keep the benefits here. I would do it like this. Yes, so now if I click on this one, there you go. And this needs to be a flex send align. items, center, and justify center. Yeah. And it would be cool if it fades out and fades in. Do we have fade? I have yet to actually read the docs, etc., but eager to get into Vue 3 too. Yeah. I mean, knowing how awesome Vue 2 is, I can only imagine that Vue 3 also delivers on that aspect. But honestly, like now that I'm using React, yeah, I got like not really like sucked into the bubble of React, but it just, you know, I code for money, so whatever I need to do at work, like there's like an established ADR and we're using React throughout the company, so okay. But regardless of the framework that I'm using, my knowledge of JavaScript is getting better and better and better. Like when I was doing the Vue.js in the other company where I was working, I loved working not only with Vue.js, but also I was exploring JavaScript a lot. And I think with Vue.js, it's much easier to explore JavaScript than with ReactJS. I don't know how to explain it, but it just, that's the feeling that I have. But as a beginner. But now with React, I also kind of like started digging even on a deeper level into React. So it's kind of like, it doesn't really matter which framework you're using, you know, you're gonna end up learning not just the framework, I guess, if you're doing it consciously, or I don't know. Oh, thank you, Palazone, Giuseppe. My thoughts exactly, but I want to get into React too many. Yeah, I know. Code for money sounds like a programming mercenary. I mean, how else do you say that? It's just a lot clearer in terms of separation of concern. Methods go here, data props here, lifecycle hooks. Yeah, that's true. And also Vuex. I feel like Vuex, and again, I didn't work with Redux enough to form an opinion about it, but from what I understand, like I see so many people asking, oh, let's do a Redux tutorial, let's do a Redux tutorial. So I'm kind of like getting the sense that it's a complex tech. I didn't feel that about Vuex that much. Surely I was not the one setting it up. There was a senior developer who was doing that. But following kind of like the path and then figuring things out myself and then extending it and everything as a junior, while challenging at times, I wouldn't say that it was like mission impossible. So I kind of like, I really enjoyed working with Vuex. Maybe that's why I don't have like this bad fear or bad vibe around state management tools, but I don't know, I think Vuex is awesome. In pure.js, it is very easy to get lost as to where you are supposed to place functions. Yeah, it's a lot of like freestyling, right? I'm gonna take your advice about digging in JavaScript through Vue 3 because it's what I'm trying to study. Yeah. I think Vue, maybe that's what's the advice should be like. If you want to learn JavaScript, then take Vue, because I really think that Vue is less of a headache. React is it's a little bit more complicated in my opinion. And I guess it can be quite discouraging to work with it. Says the girl who is working with React for 3 years now and does tutorials on it. But maybe that's why I'm doing tutorials on it, so you will not feel as I felt back then. I still feel that about React. I don't know. Maybe I need to dig again into Vue.js to kind of like get back the sense that Vue is the best. Or maybe I'm just tired and I'm not making any sense. Maybe that's the case. I'm betting my chips on that. Have you ever thought about making a React Udemy course? Well, so I have my Ultimate API challenge, right? Like the challenges, several of them. And of course, like there was a thought of how should I release this content? Should it be through a course? Should it be just like videos? Should it even be a YouTube or not? And I don't know, Udemy didn't strike me as something appealing. And I think if I were to release a course, I would still probably do it on YouTube, honestly. I don't know. I like the... for now at least, I like the idea of putting the content on YouTube and maybe getting like the monetization thing going on, and the users don't need to pay necessarily anything. But maybe that will change depending on the amount of, if I like put a lot of effort into it and like preparation, like I don't know, months and months. Although I did do that with the Ultimate API challenge, so I cannot say. Maybe just like for the sake of exploring another platform, maybe. But for now, I'm like, Udemy is not really appealing to me. I don't know. I also don't get why like so many courses are discounted there. What's the gist there? Where's the poop, Robin? You know, if you saw How I Met Your Mother. Okay, so somebody said something about Tailwind Config. Wait, what was it about? You got to write a custom in Tailwind Config. It's always discounted. I think it's just the price to entice. Yeah, I don't know. I think like you can get pretty well going on with like monetization on YouTube. And then the content can still stay for free for the users. So, I don't know. Oh, that's what you meant by creating a config, okay. Would that mean that I need to create this animation myself? Don't do this to me now. No, I'm not gonna do this now. This is too much. I'm too exhausted for this. Anyway. Okay, it's not too bad actually. It's also not too bad like this without the animation. Maybe that's what I need to tell myself and believe in it. So, and we could also add this in here. This is lovely music. I'm falling asleep. Yeah, maybe that's the music. Hey, you saw our cute loader. But in this case, it needs to be each full. Didn't work. Wait. Height is always tricky. They had a height screen, right? Ah, there we go. Yeah, height 100% is gonna do nothing in our case if we want to stretch it to the screen. So we need to do height screen. We need the 100 VH. There we go. You saw it? Boom! How beautiful is that? Awesome. I like it. So before we fall asleep here. Something a little bit else, more upbeat. Do you actually notice my camera flickering? I changed a little bit like my setup, and for some reason every time I touch the camera it starts flickering a little bit, especially if I turn on my screen bar. It's insane. Should we also do this like here? What do you say? Okay, I'm gonna Google fade. Tailwind CSS animation. There we go. What would you do without Stack Overflow? That's what happens when you don't read what you're doing. I don't feel like it's fading. Does it look like fading to you? To me, it doesn't really. But I think it's because the element just disappears, right? I'm not sure if I even can do that. Yeah, flex is not defined. So I guess I need to do this. Still? Yes, this is so relaxing. The music, the typing, your voice, and the cat's purring. That's cool. Okay, fade out, transition, Tailwind CSS. Okay. I honestly just want Google to tell me what to do. I don't want to invent things. I'm still like so pumped about this happening here. I'm using the Brave browser. And they are impressing me. Wait a second, am I not using Google? Maybe that was all the issue for my problems. Fade, transition, Tailwind, CSS. Like, I know that, you know, it's sometimes better if you use other search engines, but I find that with coding sometimes it's a little bit more tricky, because really the results that you're getting in Google, I mean, obviously they have like bigger servers, they have like much more a bigger reach, I guess, and indexing options and capacities and everything. So I guess that you're getting a much more tailored results, which with other search engines is not yet the case. So I really cannot really see myself still changing completely to something else than Google. Especially if my salary depends on it, you know? It's like you need to be at work on time, but instead of taking the bus, you're in a rush and you decide to walk. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Doesn't sound wise to me. Okay, this is no. CSS transitions. Come on, Owen. Help us out. Getting tired. It's almost 10. It's bedtime. From your Motion.js. What are you asking? Just had dinner. I'm back. How is the project coming together? The project is fine. I'm just dealing with some animation situation. And I am upset that Google doesn't give me the direct answer to that. It's that stage of the project. So if I refresh it, there we go. So there is a loader, and then if we go here, there's also a loader. So it's kind of okay, right? You can use Framer Motion.js. What's that? I don't know. If you could elaborate. Slide in sidebar menu. Yeah, but that was like, I don't know why, but I'm not really a big fan of using extra libraries for animation. Probably because I don't do that much of animation, so I feel like I can just, you know, find it and write it myself. Well, write it, copy paste it myself, and maybe do like some little tweaks. Because like, I don't need a whole library to be loaded here for that. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Boom. This animation is kind of good. I'm actually okay. But the only thing is that the product should disappear straight away. And it's not. What if we remove this? And that doesn't help us, right? What if we do on is loading? So if we get that is loading is false, so it means that it has loaded everything, then scroll up. So we're here, boom. We don't even need the loader. Do you see? But then the whole page flashes. Nah. It was an interesting idea though, if I say so myself. So, come on. Boom. You see there's like this little flashing. And that comes from maybe we need to do this. Wait a second. Wait a second. I know what I want to do. I think what I want to do is I want to have the loader on top of the whole page. So it's not like jumpy all over the things, you know? I wanted to do like absolute here. Yeah. Is Tailwind CSS free? Yes, of course. So, what did I break now? Let's inspect. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's not here. So, absolute. Did absolute do anything? Yes, it did. So, wait a second. Why do I always keep on, why do I keep on saying like, wait a sec? You're not going anywhere, anyhow. Or if you are, it's not like me saying wait a second is gonna stop you. Wait a second. This song is called The Village Idiot. Interesting. Let's hear it out. Absolute. Position. There we go. How do they do that? Static parent. Oh. Okay, I can do bottom and left. Cool. So for the sake of this thing, we're gonna do a border and then border 2. No, why it doesn't like it? Border applies distance as border. Oh, oops. Then border. Where's the color? Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what? That's not the whole page. What you talking about? This is the loader. Some CSS animations don't run at a high frame rates, but I get it. Libraries can be bulky. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that completely like the libraries should not be used and they're shitty or something. No, there is a reason they exist. But just like not for my use case, you know. You can use fixed width 100. So my issue is not the width. My issue is that I want this. I want it to be relative to the page. And that's not happening by default. So let's see, top 0. There we go. Then left 0. I mean, I just expected it, you know, to straight away go there. And width 100. Width full. Yep. And then BG BG white, opacity 10, 50, 60, 8, 90, 80. 8 is good. Although I don't want it to like be on top of Willy, so what if I do like 20? Maybe 18? No. 15? 14? Yeah, that's good. $75. So do I like it? No. H full. But the full is not gonna. See, it still gives us the same thing. Okay, let me remove the border so it will look a little bit more realistic. If I do BG gray 300. What if we do yellow? Yeah, okay, we don't have those. Gray. No, it's with an A. I don't like it. Do you like it? I don't. Like, because, so, issue number 1, this looks weird. That's fixable. Issue number 2, if you scroll, looks weird. How you can fix it? Remove the scrolling. But why would you remove the scrolling? You still want to give like your user the option to scroll, because what if this takes ages and they want to go to another, or maybe they misclicked or something, you know? So like, click here and okay, let me see how it looks like in the context of is loading and stuff. Maybe it will look different and it will look nice. So, oh, why did I refresh? Oh, that's even worse. Nope, we're going to revert anything I did. Not anything, everything. There we go. Initial page load. No. Wait, I need to bring back this stuff. Okay, fine. I can live with that. And then we click on this one. It's fine. I don't know why I didn't like it in the beginning. Skeleton loader approach. Yeah, we could do that, but we didn't. Probably like a skeleton loader approach would somewhat help us. But on the other hand, I also don't want to reload the whole page. Like, we only need to reload like the product itself. So I'm not really feeling that there is a need for a complete like skeleton reload. But it would solve this issue of like the cutting of the screen. So like, as we have there when we initially load stuff. I think it looks fine. You can add loading for you section. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I have here to do handle loading state. Let's try and see if we can return a loader here. Let's see. Yeah. So I wanted to say let's do this next time, but I'm like, you're already here. Come on. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. I don't hype myself like this at work. That's not a normal behavior for me. I don't know why you are witnessing that right now. So I don't think I'm gonna have the H. I'm just gonna have a margin Y of 4, just to have it a little bit, give it a little bit of space. Although I think here it would make sense to have this thing in the loader, right? And not like the whole thing, like the for you can still, right? Yeah, we're all thanks to your suggestions and your push to do it. So we're just gonna do this. Hey! High five! So let's check. We could also add it here. Oh wow! Look at that! Wait a second. Where? Here, you see? Again, wait a second. You don't need to wait for anything. Top products. So we're gonna go here. Boom. Are those wavings or high fives? It's a waving. Are you saying bye and I didn't get it? High five. Yep. Loader. Hey, there you go. Cool. Make it a component so that next time it's easy to restyle. You mean the whole thing? Should I put it in the component? I mean, yeah. Because like the only thing that changes okay. I'm convinced. So the only thing that is going to be different than the rest is that it's not going to have this style. So we can take this out, save it, and then go to our loader component and wrap it. And then in here, we're going to accept classes. And this is going to be the template literals. So then we can construct them together. And it's going to be classes here. So now if I refresh this, yeah, it has the margin Y. Yes, loader, yep. So we already have this component loader which has the SVGs, but it just didn't have like the divs surrounding it. So we have it here, cool. Then in the home, we didn't add it. In recommended products, we can also add classes. And my far. There we go. And where else? In product, right? H screen is gonna be here. Boom. Awesome. Let's check that it works. It works here. If we go here, we have this. We have this. Awesome! How freaking cool is that? Yay! What I thought that I'm gonna be super tired, eventually we managed to do something. Awesome. I'm really happy. Cool. Okay, so on Wednesday, we could probably like do some decoupling, some splitting of components, have a chat. And then I'll see if I stream on Saturday, if everything stays as is. And yeah, we're gonna move a little bit further. We have neglected a little bit the search. Well, that's okay, we did like a massive thing last time. Yeah. So let's see if I can squeeze in another 2 streams this week, Wednesday and Saturday, and hopefully get a move on this one. And if everything stays as is and I'm able to stream on Saturday as I plan right now, then that would be doing the search page with use context, fetching data, updating filters. So it's gonna be like a huge one, you know. So it will gonna be like an intense one. So we'll probably need to have lunch first and then a coffee and then get to it, right? So as always, I'm gonna push whatever we did today to GitHub where you can find it. And it's under code along in the repository. The repository link is in the description box below. And if you're starting from scratch, be sure to check the whole playlist from the beginning. There's like really a step-by-step thing going on there. And there's also the starter files. So you're fully covered in any decision you're making. How long have you been a developer? Almost 4 years now, as like a working experience. This was fun. Thank you for the chat. Thank you very much for joining, Ahmed. Happy to have you here. Count me in. Awesome. Cool. So Wednesday, probably the same time, maybe even earlier. Let's see. And Saturday, I'll just keep you posted, I guess. I'll update on Instagram. So if you have Instagram, then check that one there. Okay? So have a good evening, good night, or good morning, wherever you are. Stay safe, and I see you next time. And thank you for joining. Bye.